Welcome back. Let's continue our discussion of files. As we mentioned in the last few moments of the previous video, we can also use the write function to write text files to our local computer. And so table 5.2 of your text talks about that. So first we would use the open function to open the file, but instead of an R flag, we would use a W flag, which means we're opening it for writing rather than reading. Listing 5.1 will show us how to do that, and when we want to look at that, we should be aware that we have to add our own new line character to the end of each of our lines in the output so that we get a proper line-by-line output. The second thing we need to know is that if there is an existing file there and we open it for writing, all of its original contents are gone and there will be no warning about that. Okay, so let's take a look at our listing 5.1 and see how this goes. All right, so listing 5.1. Here we go, writing data to a new file. So the idea here is that we're going to open our rainfall.txt file that we've looked at before for reading, and then we're going to read all the lines, convert those rainfall measurements from inches to centimeters, and then write out a new file, rainfall in cm.txt, that'll have the output in centimeters. Okay, so this nesting here is only because of the problem that we're doing. That is, we're reading a file and then writing another file based on those contents. So we don't have to do that nesting every time. If we were just trying to write something, we would have just this part rather than the reading first. So we read in all of our lines just like we did in the previous example, split them, and then as we said before, that values that look like numbers were in fact strings. So we have to convert them to a float using the float function. So that gives us our rainfall in inches, and then the conversion is 2.54 centimeters per inch. So I multiply the inches value by 2.54, and that gives me centimeters. And then this is our part that actually does the writing. We use the write function from this outFile variable. Again, my values 0 would be the city name, then a space, then the string of the number in centimeters, so we have to convert it to a string, and then we do have to put our \n there in the output. So let's run this cell. Okay, it has been executed, and then if we look, we do have a new file over here that wasn't there before. That's our rainfall in cm, and if we look at that, it shows us that there are centimeter equivalents for all of those rainfalls. Okay, now let's take a look at this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to download this file, and then I'm going to edit it to put in, anything at all. So we'll put one of those pangrams here, the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy, and I can't remember the last thing. I don't know, tiger, let's say. Okay, so that's our new version of that file. Then in my piece here, I'm going to get rid of that version, drag this rainfall in cm up. Okay, and so now it has those new contents. Okay. Watch what happens when I run this file, this code again that does the output. Boom, it's done. It didn't warn me, but whatever was in there is now gone. Okay, so that is one of the things we have to be very careful with when we're writing files with Python or most other programming languages, to be honest. And that is that when we open a file for writing, its original contents are immediately erased, and that's not something that you're warned about, nor is it something that you can get back via, say, the recycle bin. Okay, it's just gone. But that is how we would write output to a file. Our next video then, we'll start talking about string formatting. And the reason we want to do that is, look at these measurements here. We just have a whole bunch of digits, for instance, in this one or this one, when we did the conversion to centimeters. Way more digits than we can have confidence in based on what our measurements in inches were. And so we're going to look at how to format strings so that when we display them either on the screen or in a file, they might be have a more pleasing numeric format. All right, so that's what's up in our next video.